What's that? What's up, everyone? I'm back. Today's show is our trading show. We're going to be looking at some charts, looking at some trades. We're currently in 2 trades. We'll go over those. So all of you, welcome. If you're new, sub to the channel. We do a daily morning show on the weekdays, talking about just news. And then 3 times a week, looks like it's going to be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I do a trading show where we break down the charts, try to make some money. Let's take a peek at our current trades. We are still in our BitTensor long at $300 was our entry. Current mark price is $325. We're at 57% of the profit. And we scalped an MYX long, I believe at the bottom. I'll go to that chart. That's up 46%. Bitcoin looking good, 122,728. I would highly encourage all of you watching, right? We don't charge you any money, okay? Come join our trading group in Discord. All you got to do is click on Get VVIP Access. All you need to do is create an account with BuyDefi, deposit $100 for yourself to use to trade, and then enter your UID, and you'll automatically get access to the trading channel here where I post all my trades. You can see here, this was when I posted there and I got into MYX, bullish divergence on MYX, 11x long open. And so those people that are in that group have, I'm assuming I don't know if they close their trades, but at least they're in the profit. So let's talk about that MYX trade first. Let's go MYX. I think I had it on here. Where the fuck did this thing go? Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and pull that up. MYX. We'll do perp on Bybit. And I was looking, I believe, at the 1 hour. Like, we're talking absolute bottom here, okay? On the 1 hour time frame, absolute bottom for MYX. This was an accumulation zone on the 1 hour. When that zone broke out after the retest, this thing rallied 60% in its first leg. In its entirety, rallied 76%. And well, that's where MYX has been trading. And again, I believe it was the 1 hour that we saw some bullish divergence. Let's take a peek here. Let me move this sucker up. Also, shout out to CryptoFace. Can love that guy. I was watching his show yesterday live, and he got into an MYX long. I copied his trade and made some money on that one. Let's see, that one. How much did we make on that one? That one we made 122%. Got in at $9.86. Sold at $10.62. I think we made $370 on that one. Not a bad trade. And then for this one, yep, bullish divergence here on the 1 hour. As you can see, here's our first low. Here's our low on the RSI. And let me squeeze this down. We put in this low here as well. Well, we'll take this low. And RSI gave us a higher low. That, my friends, is called bullish divergence. And typically, what that tells you is although price action is going down, there's a lot more buying happening. And it was at a very, very pivotal support zone. Multiple bounces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 retests, and then off we go. And well, again, that is where we entered. We do have a stop loss set just above our, well, not just above, but a little bit above our liquidation price. And I think if this thing moves, I'll be looking to take my initial profit at around $9.54. Right, seeing if this area here has turned into resistance, which more than likely it has, seeing as it was a strong support. This is a springboard that rallied 28%. And our second TP, so 50% off the table there. The rest off the table at 11, we'll call it $12 even. which was this high we had here. It was looked like it was going to be a nice cup and handle, and it completely broke and fell to the downside. And so MYX trade currently making money, and again, it's currently at $8.71. So those of you that are maybe watching like, I didn't get a chance to get in the trade, or hey, David, I wasn't in that trading group. I don't know if now would be a good time to enter. Let's go through some market cipher. Money flow is still deep in the red on the 1 hour time frame. RSI and stochastics are pretty much at the bottom on the 1 hour. Let's go to the lower time frame. Let's go to the 15 minute. 15 minute is giving us 15 minute just gave us a anchor wave, trigger wave, long entry. Okay. Here's your anchor wave with double green dot. Here's your trigger wave. Beautiful with a green dot. That is a long entry signal. If you have market cipher B, that was the last 15-minute time frame. So in fact, right, I'm not telling you guys what to do with your money, but I would feel comfortable entering into an MYX long right now and look to take your initial profit at around $9.48 on MYX. Do we have some bullish div here as well? Let's find out. Yeah, guys. I mean, we had bullish div here, down here as well. And then, down here. We also have bullish div happening right now. Or excuse me, no, these are higher lows. Excuse me, no. So rewind. We don't have bullish div here, right? We put in a higher low here. And obviously a higher low on the RSI as well. That is not bullish divergence. So excuse me while I correct myself. But still, anchor wave, trigger wave long on the 15 minute. Let's check the 5 minute. First, we check PA on 5 minute. This is going back up to $9. Big volume node here, the VRVP, right where it got rejected. Right where it got rejected at $8.78. I think there's going to be follow through here, guys. So we are, and then right at around $8.85, going up to $9.07. You do have a large order block. Around 32% of all trades happen. Also have a large volume node corresponding there as well. You can see right here, right? We're looking there, 32%. And let me, right here. 32% of all trades, and bears had the edge over the longs, and so expect some resistance again at that $9. The wick high there was around $9.07, and so if you got in at that $9.38, that should be a really nice scalp. We did, I think that trade wasn't anything crazy. It was a 11x. 11x, $250 margin. You can see, guys, we were already 57% in the green, $142. So yeah. Again, I think this still has a lot of room to run. Let's go to a little bit of a higher time frame. Let's check the 4 hour. Let's get rid of those. Keep on our volume range. Discount zone is currently where we're at on the 4 hour. You see a nice bottoming structure here happening, starting to round out the bottom here. Previous week low was tapped, where we saw a massive liquidity grab. This was back on September 21st on a Sunday. Massive liquidity grab, chop, 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 and then price started going up. We even had this big liquidity grab to the upside, little bit of a pullback, and then it's still off to the races. Again, on the 4 hour time frame on MYX, we have a couple of gaps here to fill. One sits between 1071 and 1224. The second one sits between 1242 and $13.64. I would caution you, if you are going to enter into a long, or if you're already in this long, don't get greedy. Take some profit. Once we hit this first gap, once we hit that second gap, and then if you want to run this thing to previous week high, $16.27. That would be an absolute massive trade. Let's take a peek. If we were to let this thing run to $16.27, because I'm not good at auto math. This would be a $2,600 payday. 1,000% gain. Not too shabby. So MYX in along. The other one I was peeking at was, well, obviously we're in a BitTensor long as well. We could take a look at a Tau chart real quick. Also, if there's anything you'd like me to take a look at on the charts, please throw it in the chat. I'd love to give you my thoughts on price action. Also, maybe throw in some fundamental analysis as well. And of course, when you go to try to find this one, I think we did by there we go. Beautiful. Daily. Actually, it wasn't this one. It was there it is. Here's my beautiful chart with my beautiful drawings on the daily. We longed the bottom end of this range. So far, it's played out extremely nice. Again, this was pretty high margin, low leverage. Wanted to keep my liquidation price fairly low. We are seeing a little bit of a sell-off here at this volume node around 322. So price action is struggling a little bit. I am expecting a run up. We have some confluence here as well, you guys. Our largest peak in volume is right where the top end of our range is. 347. Potentially take some profits there on that trade. But ultimately, I am expecting this thing to break to the upside as this is a falling channel. If you want to extend this out, talk about it being a bull flag of some sort, although I think the flag portion at least, or the pennant portion, is too overextended to be a flag on the daily. But still, breakout, right? We kind of take not even the middle width. If we were to take this middle width and say, hey, what's this measured move going to look like if we do get that breakout, relatively, soon? $476, which again, if I go in here and we play with some numbers on our TP. So if we do 467, that would be a $3,200 gain, right? Net gain, 400%. This is something I think I put 1K margin. Oh, I took a little bit of profit. It was at 1,100. It's at 813 as far as my margin goes. And so, yeah, I'm looking for that breakout, 470, 476. I think ultimately, though, once BitTensor breaks out, I would love to see a retest of this trend line. Let's come back down and let's retest this 350 or this 343 level. And then we're off to the races, and you're talking about reclaiming all-time highs, which if you look at the chart from Binance, it tells you it's 1244. I am looking more closely at this high here, which was $750. Don't forget, you guys, halving is coming up in 2 months. December 10th, emissions get cut in half. Tokenomics on Tau, I don't want to say identical, but damn near identical to what you see with Bitcoin, with halvings, emissions, and obviously being a proof of work token. All right. I saw, okay, Daniel Kaufman, looks like the only thing you're holding is Avalanche. Let's take a look at an AVAX chart. AVAX was having a really, really, really nice rally. This is AVAX on the daily. We're seeing, unfortunately, a little bit of a bear flag pattern. Lots of spinning tops, right? Spinning top, spinning top. You can call this a spinning top. You can call this a spinning top. What that tells me is there's a lot of indecision between the bulls and the bears, right? It's like a tug of war. And this one, let's go ahead and draw our fib. Let's get rid of this fib. So bear flag is still not invalidated. Okay, we take the wick. If we go down to the close, we are at that gold pocket retrace to the upside, which is around 3163. You see, we hit our 618 on a wick, got rejected. And then currently hitting the 6.5 on the wick at 31.63 and currently getting rejected. And so ideally for this pattern to be invalidated, this potential bear flag, which could take us the downside move potentially if we go wick to wick, if we get rejected at this 50, the measured move is $22. I'm not saying that's where it's going, but that would be, if you're a fan of measured moves, that would be kind of your target. But I want to get 31.81. If we can stay and close above 31.81, invalidation of this bear flag, this rising channel. And now you're targeting the gold pocket to the upside, which is around 32.85 to 33.14 on AVAX. Let's take a look at market side for B. Another trigger wave here from 2 days ago. Money flow expanding to the upside. VWAP expanding to the upside, sitting at 5. Looks like our momentum indicators have bottomed out, steadily rising. That's on the daily time frame. Let's go to the a little bit higher, the 7-day, the weekly. See what the weekly's telling us. Massive expansion on the money flow. It's currently at 18. Stochastics have clipped though, but RSI looks like it is starting to round out. All right, not breaching that last high we had here, which is around 76. So we could see the weekly start to spill over, but again, there's still 2 days left for this candle to close. Let's go to back on the price action. Let's get rid of that. Another W pattern here, kind of flagged, broke. That's one thing to keep your eye out on as well. And then the other thing I like to do as well is let's draw our fib from our second bottom on that W pattern, and we'll identify the 50, which is 26.04. Tons of price action at that price level right there, right? We had resistance here, which came in and gave us our second low. Resistance here on an attempted breakout, resistance on an attempted breakout, and then we finally got that big candle on the weekly. Didn't quite get there on the retest. We got down around 26.95. 26 was our 50% fib level. And so far, we've seen a positive reaction from AVAX. Also, you see large volume node here. Let's drop a horizontal here. And let's zoom out a little bit and look historically what price has done at $35.93. We just stay in this cycle. So 2023, we had a brief deviation. We got a wick all the way down around $27. We broke above, retest, and then we shot up to current cycle highs, which is $65.33. On the way back down, we saw some consolidation at this level before ultimately failing. Attempted a retest, failed, didn't quite get there. On the way up, blew up right by it, and then we caught some support and then ultimately fell through. And then now we are attempting to reclaim $35.93. So for those of you that are in any longs, or those of you that open any longs, be aware of $36, just under $36. Have some TP levels set right underneath that. Take some profit off the table before we bump up against that resistance. Once we clear that, I would expect a retest and then attempting these cycle highs, right? $55 and then $65 for AVAX. Long-term, fundamentally, I'm bullish on this project. I hold a lot of AVAX. But from a price action standpoint, let's zoom into the 1 hour. Find any potential scalps here. You have this massive rising channel. Call it a bear flag if you'd like. But this tells us the move should be a break to the downside on the 1 hour. Top end of the range sits at around $32. So, yeah, I mean, I guess my bias here, if we do get a run up, would be to short 32 and come back in long 30. So, you know, either high margin or high leverage. Obviously, it becomes a lot riskier when you're in high leverage. But to trade this zone until we ultimately get that breakout. And then we waiting for that confirmation. If it's a break below, wait for the retest to enter a short at $30.32 and look for downside targets. If it is a break to the upside, same thing. Wait for the break above, wait for that retest of 32, and then enter in your long there. And then look for the upside targets. The first one on the 1 hour would be around, again, $35 to $36 on AVAX. Let's take a peek at the RSI. Seeing if we got any bearish divergence, which we don't. And then lastly, like we always do, let's take a look at Market Cipher B. By the way, guys, if you don't have Market Cipher, you're honestly missing out. I've made so much money trading one strategy with Market Cipher B. It's paid for my lifetime fee tenfold. And you guys know it's the anchor wave, trigger wave, longs and shorts. Super simple. There's a link in the description if you want to support the channel. But either way, if you use the link or not, I would highly recommend. If you're a serious trader, you need Market Cipher. 1 hour, seeing a little bit of a bounce on the momentum indicators. Money flow, VWAP in the green. Oh, we've already taken out this high on the 1 hour on the momentum wave. We're looking to take out this high as well, around 72. That's on the 1 hour. Let's check the 15-minute. Red dot on the 15-minute. Money flow still in the green, though. VWAP currently trading below. So, upside steam has lost. All right, we lost some of this the steam to the upside on the move. Let's go down to the 5-minute here on AVAX. A lot of consolidation. No clear trend. Kind of chopping between our baseline and our +1 deviation or +2 deviation on our Bollinger Band. It's at +2. I don't know. I think we're probably gonna go back down around 30 bucks. It's at 30. Where's price at? 31.16. Probably low 30s is where I bet that price goes next. Not enough for a scalp trade unless, again, you're using very high margin or very high leverage. Waiting to see if this green dot holds on the 5-minute, or excuse me, the red dot. This could potentially be a short entry signal on Market Cipher B. Let's throw on Market Cipher A. See if we're seeing any indications there. Not really. Let's go back to the traditional candle. Let's throw this off. Let's throw on our volume. Tons of volume where price is now. Right, the red line extending out of our VRVP tells you that's where the largest volume node is with this time frame, which is where we currently are. Right, got a couple of rejections, and now we're looking to hold that as support. If that support holds, 31.57 will be the next level to potentially look at. Also, looks like we might be do get that downside, maybe an inverse head and shoulders pattern. That's on the lower time frame. I don't put much into those. And then the last thing I'll look at on AVAX is the 4 hour. Let's get rid of those. If you're comfortable trading the range, I would trade the range. I would long the bottoms, short the tops until we get a break either way, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. With market conditions, I would expect that break to be to the upside, which would negate this bearish pattern. But yeah, some confluence here at around 30 bucks with the largest volume node here. So that's AVAX. Let's see. Let's take a peek at the chat here. We got 92 people watching, 31 likes. Do us a favor, hit the like button. Also sub to the channel and throw those notification bell on. Everything Dwarf Dennis said everything in profit besides VET. VeChain. H Bardano said, are you going to do Hedera TA because it's on the thumbnail? Absolutely I am. Let's do that now before I forget. Let's clean up this chart here a little bit. Let's go here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you. And let's get rid of you guys as well. Let's start high. I think H-bar is about to fucking go off, man. I really do. I think H-bar is going to explode, man. I mean, it's completing that W pattern, guys, on the weekly. It is so obvious. This is one of the cleanest setups. Come in, fail to make that high, essentially make a double bottom. I think we had some bullish divergence here as well. You come in, you're flagging, you're at the 50. It's held so far. The next move, guys, the next move is to cycle highs. It's to 40 cents, man. It's as simple as that. That's on the weekly. Weekly money flow just crossing the green. I mean, what else do you want, right? What else do you want? High time frame, $21.57. Do I have an open order for? I mean, I don't even know if we're not gonna get there, man. You know what, dude? Let's just do it. Allow me to put my money where my mouth is. All right. Went an H-bar long. Let me throw it in our Discord. H-bar 12x long order initiated. Bam, let's go. Okay. All right. So H-bar, MYX, Tau currently are open trades. I'm very bullish on H-bar, not just obviously from a price action standpoint because I just put in a trade, but also from a or from a fundamental standpoint as well. This is the daily on H-bar. Let's get rid of some of these. Let's get rid of that. You go away, and the rest can stay. Now, the daily, though, interestingly enough, has a little bit of an M pattern. Currently getting rejected at the 50. And let's see. We're looking for some bullish divergence on the daily, but we don't have that. Interesting cross here. Looks like the daily money flow is about to go green for the first time in a month. We want that crossover, and we have a potential setup for another anchor trigger wave long entry here if we get that trigger wave with the green dot on the daily. Now, I front ran the move a little bit on my trades. If you want to be a very disciplined trader, you wait for the confirmations. Sometimes I front run. I usually tend to wait for confirmation, but the weekly just looks so bullish, man. The weekly looks very bullish. Daily, massive bull flag on the daily as well. Right, same targets, 38 cents. talk about if we come back and retest the bottom end of this channel here. Now you're also bringing into account a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern, neckline, and a break to the upside, but that remains to be seen. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame here on H bar. By the way, shout out to my boy Alex. So, I used to go in and manually, it's funny, you use something for so long, you don't know some of the tricks. I used to go in and manually just close them all out. And then I watched Alex one time. I think he was on our channel. He just highlighted them all and did it. I'm like, damn, Alex, I love you, bro. Okay. 4-hour, nice bounce on the momentum indicators here. RSI, stochastics both look great. Looks like money flow is itching to get back into the green. The one thing I will say here, on the 4-hour at least, is beware of a potential anchor trigger wave short. Now we did get a green dot here on the 4-hour, so that's good. Again, momentum indicators look good. VWAP is in the green, good. We want that money flow to cross and stay. We did have a very short-lived bullish money flow crossover here, but ultimately we fell right back down. But the good news here is higher low on the money flow. Okay, so that's good. So in my opinion, I think the bulls are in control of this chart. I do think Hedera pushes to the upside. You can see here, essentially a doji candle, a lot of indecision. Let's check the 1-hour. Okay, 1-hour could be start of a trend reversal here on the 1-hour. As you can see, we're on the Heikin-Ashi candles, right? We need 2 consecutive Heikin-Ashi candles with no downside wicks. Right, here's 1, 2, you enter on the 3rd one. And that's a 5% move. Same to the downside, 1, 2, enter on the 3rd one. Right, 1, 2, enter on the 3rd one. And that is a 4% move. And so we're waiting. 1-hour candle. If this one holds, we're waiting to see what the next one gives us. But just a shitload of volume is happening here, right? A shitload of trading is happening between 22 cents and 22.7 cents. I think once that breaks, man, if it breaks down, right, we're targeting the bottom end of that range, which will either add more margin here at around 20 cents if we even get there. If not, the breakout, I think, is going to be huge. You have a little bit of a gap between 23 cents and 23 and a half. And then you start talking about top end of the range, potentially taking some margin or some profit on that trade that we just entered, depending on what that profit, right, that those margins look like. But yeah, bullish on H-bar, baby. The McRib pattern, it is a real thing, bro. It's an absolute real thing. We shared that chart on the morning show. Let's see if I can find it. I thought it was... Here, I'll just go to this morning's show notes real quick. I don't know, bro. Look at this chart. Tell me if it's real. H. Bardano, tell me if this is real, right? I don't know, those of you that watch the PBD podcast, Tom Ellsworth says, numbers scream. Something talks money, numbers scream, right? The numbers are screaming. Bitcoin, 1 month. McRib returns at 2Xs. 2X, 2X, 2X. And here, are we going to get a 2X? That's why in the thumbnail this morning, 200K, baby. 200K guaranteed. Write it down in your diary. David from Sin City Crypto said that it was going to 2X because of the McRib. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to 2X, but hey, it probably will. So, okay, let's take a look at the crypto bubbles on the day. Pancake Swap crushing it. Cake up 27.8%. You know, I was looking at this one, 2Z. This is Austin Federa. Used to be at Solana. Bridged out, is doing his own thing now. Aster, that one's down 16%. Aster up. MYX on the day down. Let's check the 1 hour. A lot of green on the 1 hour, guys. Weekly. Zcash crushing the weekly. Pump up 32% on the weekly. And Cake. Let's take a look at Pancake Swap. Pattern break. Pattern break. Wait for the retest. Okay. $3.13. You know what? Let's go ahead and put in a limit on that one. Oh, HBAR trades in the green. Nice. No. Where'd you go? We're hoping to get in on the retrace. Maybe we don't get it. I don't know. I want to go. Rob always says, how long does that lever go? It goes pretty high, dude. Let's go 15 on this one. And let's do $3.14. About 250. Okay, limit. Okay. All right, so in summation, our current limit orders, which they may never fill. Link, long, 1997 limit order. Aave, long, $250. Ondo, long, 82.1 cents. Kronos, long, 19.45 cents. And now Pancake Swap, long, limit order, $3.14. Let's go. Will it fill? I don't know. I hope it fills. I hope we get a retest. Maybe, because this is a weekly candle. Let's check the daily. Daily looks juicy too, bro. Also, what you want to watch with these moves, and look at this fractal here. Very similar. What did Pancake Swap do the last time? And although this was a bigger range, a wider base, we never got the retest. Right? Look at this price action. We never got the retest. And on the candle that broke, it was a 130% rally. So we may not get a retest, but I'm not jumping on this 100-mile-an-hour moving train. Also, similarly, volume had spiked. So 24 million volume on that move. Double on this move. So this move is... you want to talk about volume and velocity? This move is bigger. So what would a 126% move look like? Here, well, if we just take this candle, $7. $6.95. Please, let's say a prayer. Please, trading gods, I would like Pancake Swap to retrace down to $3.14. Because if it does, then I will potentially make money. Will my wish come true? I don't know. I hope it does. Okay. I wanted to check this. Stay on the weekly and look at market cipher. Love me some market cipher. Just looks good, man. It looks good. Daily looks vertical. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, and I need to do a better job of just... I got just so much shit going on. I mean, this was... Those of you that have market cipher, this was your entry. Trigger wave, anchor wave, trigger wave long. This is a very high probable. And this is a candle you would have entered, right? Green dot showed up here. You enter, you would have gotten in at $3, okay? This was your open, $3.07. You'd be up 18% on a very simple strategy. Please help me help you. Get Market Cipher. Very easy. On longs, I'll just break this down real quick. On longs, you wait for the anchor wave. What's the anchor wave? The anchor wave is a momentum wave, this blue shaded little hills and mountains. You wait for it to cross either the dotted line, which is your trigger 2, or your oversold 1 line, which is a solid line. You wait for it to breach it and give you a green dot. That is your first, right? Part 1 of 2. That is what's called your anchor wave. Next, you look for the trigger wave, which is a much smaller momentum wave, like this, like this, like this, like this. And you wait for the green dot. That's your trigger wave. That's your entry. That is where you enter. Okay? Now, the important thing here is you wait for the candle to close. I've made this mistake and lost money. I don't want you to do the same. If you try to front run it and you see the green flash and the time frame is not over, whether it's the 1 minute, the 1 hour, the 1 day, or the 1 week, you wait for the next candle, and if that green dot is still there and that trigger wave is still there, you enter along. And the flip side is true as well. This is an anchor wave. Momentum wave crossing above your trigger 1 and your overbought 1 line. It could even extend to your oversold or overbought 2 line. And then you wait for that small trigger wave, right? Like, not like that. That's too large. Like something like this, right? Although I've done more anchor trigger wave setups on longs than shorts, like this, right? Anchor wave, trigger wave, anchor wave, trigger wave, anchor wave, trigger wave. This was perfect. This was perfect. Let's take a look. Give you guys a little case study here. Anchor wave, trigger wave, short. Let's see if it played out. Let's drop a vertical. This is your candle. This is where you enter. Wouldn't you fucking look at that? Wouldn't you look at that? 70% move to the downside. You know what? I'm going to talk to CryptoFace. I want to see if we can give away one. $1,500 for lifetime. $1,500. And that one pancake swap short would have made you that money back. And this is just a one-time thing. You pay one time, that's it. Or you can do 12 months, $600. Also, he throws out like 40% discount coupons all the time. I'm telling you guys watch me. I use this shit every day, every single day. Like, for what Market Cipher is and what Market Cipher does, like, find me another indicator that you can pay this much money and it could make that back tenfold. Over and over and over and over again. So, yeah. Shout out to Market Cipher. Shout out to CryptoFace, legend. Yeah. That's all I got, man. It's Friday. Weekend. UFC tomorrow. Who's going to win? Will Pereira win? I don't know. Maybe. All right. I'm done, guys. Hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Make sure you sub to the channel. Have your notification bell on. I love you. I'll see you next week. Peace.